103.9, the Fox Flint's Classic Rock Authority, and the Stones, 7:08 here live at the Foxhole with Johnny Burke and the Fox Rock Diva Lisa Marie on a Friday. Funnies edition, Hal Moss over in the Hal Hole. And have a unique opportunity this morning to talk to some young people and their mentor, Gary Burns, from Third Degree Burns, the Rock and Roll Project. It is a group of young musicians. It's out of their website is actually Young Musicians Community, or y-m-c.org if you want to read more about them. And they have a big fundraiser coming up at Davison High School tomorrow night, 5 till 9. It includes raffles, a $1,000 mega prize, the band on stage. Third Degree Burns will be performing for you. Doors open at 4:30. Tickets are only $5. It runs from 5 till 9 at the high school with a $1,000 mega prize, too. And we'll talk about that a little later on here in this interview. But Gary Burns, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Johnny. Morning, Lisa.
Morning.
Now, first of all, I want just you to give me the background on Third Degree Burns, how it got started, when it got started, what the whole idea behind it is.
All right. Started 15 years ago. A little bit of an egotistical trip on my own part. Saw the movie School of Rock, and I went, I can do that. And I had my kids, they were in bands, and I saw the same thing. Oh, who's in charge? Lead guitar player is always doing something different. So I made the offer to my kids, let me be the manager and help you work things up. And we can go and see if we can make a band. And so it was nieces and nephews joined, friends from school. It just kept getting bigger every year. And so we've been a nonprofit for 12 years now, and we've had over 60 kids in the band the past 5 years. We actually have 3 bands, so it's an opportunity. We open the door, and if they decide to come in, it's their own effort on how good they get and how many shows we do. We do about 20-ish summer now.
Yeah, we've been seeing you all over the place, and people, you're very popular. I know you've been down in Detroit. You played down there at some of the festivals down there. Lisa and I first saw you at Grand Blanc.
The first appearance Johnny and I ever made as a team is the first time we met you guys at the Food Truck Festival 2 summers ago. Yeah. And what I love about these kids is they know real rock and roll. When they walked up to talk to Johnny and I, they know classic rock artists. They appreciate the classic rock artists. Not that there's not a lot with Cardi B and stuff right now, but I mean, you guys have true rock and roll, and I think that's so cool because they get into the lyrics and they play the songs. You can tell they really love it. I mean, you've really instilled some cool things in these kids.
So you teach them everything, right? I mean, some of these kids come in probably with some knowledge of instruments, maybe they're already playing or something, but some of them come in with none, right?
Right. It's all levels. We take beginners. Everything's for free. And we start them out with the 2-string power chord because it sounds cool, and half the rock and roll's written on power chords. And but then there's some that have already musical knowledge or singing skills, and so it's just grown. We actually have 3 bands now.
Explain that first and second and Third Degree Burns. Explain that whole process.
Well, the band was named Third Degree Burns because my wife wouldn't let me name any of our kids that, and so it became a great marketing shtick as well. As So as it grew, so the beginners are first degree Burns,
right?
The intermediates are the second degree Burns, and then our accomplished musicians are the third degree team. You
even teach them how to perform on stage. I mean, more than just actually singing and actually playing, how to perform, how to look good on stage, right?
Yes, that is one of our hardest things we have to teach.
Stage presence. It's not easy.
Stage presence. That's what I tell them. I says, when's the last time you heard someone say, I'm going to hear a concert?
Right.
I'm going to see a concert, so you got to put on a show. And they get nervous about it, but we eventually get them there, and they're good performers.
How does somebody get their kid involved in this?
They just have to call us. Everybody's welcome. It's all free. Young people have to stay off of drugs and alcohol, no smoking. Keep their grades up to their parents' requirements. I put that in there because my dad was just happy if I got a C.
I like that, Gary.
Yeah, and they got to practice their music.
All right.
And you've got families involved. You got brothers. I mean, the DeCoup, you got them involved. I mean, do you have multiple siblings in the bands?
We have like 3 or 4 families that are both cool. Kids or all the kids are in the band. And
when they're done with you, where in college, are there opportunities for them? Have you seen some that go on to be in other bands and kind of?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I would say maybe 10% go into the musical career. And Hannah, who's singing here today, she's going to Olivet, right? And having music's going to be your second major.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's
so
great.
Hopefully she's going to come back and be one of our vocal coaches down the road.
You need an alumni night. Bring them all back and have them play together. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be a good fundraiser. How many kids are in it right now?
This year, we're pretty consistent with the past 5 years. 60 kids in the program.
Wow, that's a lot of kids.
We're both like, wow.
All right, I want to hear a performance here, but before we do that, I want everybody to introduce left to right on your radio dial. Let's go ahead and introduce who all is here. Go ahead and start with you.
Cheyenne Sweeney. Hannah Newsome.
Blake DeCoux.
Ben Schultz.
Jenna Robinson.
Chase DeLong.
All right, what'd you say?
Chase DeLong.
Jake, okay, we didn't hear that. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's get a performance out of these kids.
All right.
And see what this all sounds like. We're going to have to move some mics around, folks, so bear with us here. But we're going to get a medley of a couple of their songs here. They do long-form rock and roll, though, folks, and it's all electric on stage, but this is all acoustic this morning, so it gives a certain different sound to what they're capable of performing for you, and they will tomorrow night out at Davison High School. Go ahead, guys.
The folks are rising for another day, round about their home. The people of the town are strange and proud of where they came. Well, you're talking about the China Grove, oh, China Grove. She loves to laugh, she loves to sing, she does everything. She loves to move, she loves to groove, she loves to love it days. All night, every night. So hold tight, baby, hold tight. Oh, she said any way you want it, that's the way you need it, any way you want it. She said any way you want it, that's the way you need it, any way you want it.
Beautiful, you guys. That's awesome. Unbelievable. Gary, if I could just talk a little bit about the event that's coming up here on Saturday at Davison High School. This $1,000 mega prize, how's that working?
Well, we're actually doing it. We're cut up cards.
Gotta cut your.
Everybody buys a section of a card,
right?
And then we use those as the ticket. Whatever card we draw, that's who gets the $1,000.
Oh, beautiful!
Wow.
So everybody there is eligible to win this, then, right?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So, what other kind of raffles and stuff are going to be going on there?
Well, we have a silent auction. Every year parents go out and get donations for people to do silent auctions for gifts and gift baskets. And then we're also going to have a live auction this year.
All right.
So we can get people all caught up in that frenzy of...
Beautiful. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Who's going to be doing your live? You get a real auctioneer to do that?
Yeah, his name is Josh Johnson.
Yeah, those guys are crazy. I don't know how they talk that fast. But all right, so the actual event is tomorrow, and it's only $5 to get in, folks.
Right.
And a really fun night. You're going to have the band on stage. How many people are going to be playing on stage?
At any one time, we have like 20 people performing.
That's the thing about this group, folks. When they get together, there's not just a lead guitar, rhythm guitar, and a bass guitar. There's like 3 lead guitars and 4 bass guitars, and it's just in several sets of drums and keyboards and everything. It's like a rock orchestra by the time you put it together, isn't it, Gary?
Definitely. We even have double drummers, and we're not your traditional band. A lot of people said we couldn't pull this off, and I like watching videos of the kids because you see all the guitar players are strumming right at the same exact. Hey, if you can do it in regular high school band, why can't you do it with a rock band?
And you've done just a wonderful job. You must have the patience of Job, man. I don't know how you deal with this, but obviously these kids look up to you, and you're doing a great job. I've heard your bands before, and I know that a lot of kids have gone on to play more music after they've left Third Degree Burns. You've been doing it for, 12 years now?
Actually, this is our 12th fundraiser, but we've been doing it for 15 years.
I love this.
It's amazing, man.
All right, so I have a question for the kids. You're all going to have to grab a mic. I need to know, who's your favorite rock artist?
Oh.
I'll start with you down at the end.
And you can be honest, even if it's not one of ours. Go ahead.
It's okay.
Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
I love these kids. Okay.
Led Zeppelin.
Van Halen.
Oh, my
gosh.
goodness.
I was liking Tom Petty, but then Kip just introduced me to the Talking Heads. And so there you go.
Very cool. Very cool.
Right.
I really enjoy Boston.
Good choice. Oh my God. He's kidding.
All right, go ahead. And here's your favorite?
And then Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
I
Okay.
love. Look at these kids know good music.
Yeah.
Boston, didn't see that one coming. Good sound. Right? I like. Do you guys do any Boston?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're doing more in the feeling and peace of mind this year.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And you know what's one thing I like to point out about these kids is that it's not. This is no garage band, and like
No.
Curtis, but like you go to see a regular concert, they might do 17 songs right per show, and they do them. They've done them all their life. Every year we pick 30 songs, and so these young people have to learn 30 songs for our shows in the summer. Because like at Frankenmuth, we have to play for 5 hours.
Right.
So we got to make sure we got enough in the set. But I guess my point is that they learn more than the professionals have to learn every year.
Absolutely, and you're right. It's almost like a method now with some of these artists that are touring right now. They go out and they're just like, in this. Because if you see them, multiple times, you're like, I've seen this before. Like they even say the same things in between songs now. They're doing the same like banter with the audience. They just changed the city. But 30 songs is a lot of songs for you guys.
How many hours of practice a week do you put in there?
That's another amazing thing. We only get them 2 hours every Friday night.
That's it.
And we're an all-year program, and so we take from November to all the way to May, and we work on all our songs. And we have to get 30 songs up for this band, 20 for second degree, and the first degree team learns 5 or 6. But it's a lot. It's not a long time for 2 hours on a Friday, and people are amazed when they hear them out there. I'm not bragging.
I was the first time I heard them at Grand Blanc High School during the food truck thing. We were seeing. I'm like, where's this band coming from? I walk up and no offense, but I'm like, oh my god, they're kids. Like, where did this come from?
And
like,
they're playing the music we like.
And they're playing like really good music. They're not rapping. They're like singing. It was awesome.
Yeah, we need you to go all around the entire mid-Michigan area now and educate the kids. Go,
yes,
Gary,
I think it
we're
should
gonna
be a
send
school
you to every
program.
school. Thank you very much, Gary Burns, Third Degree Burns, all you guys. Thanks
You
for
guys
coming
rock.
out. The
Thank
parents,
you.
Be here today.
Thank you all. Third Degree Burns, folks.